WNYF Television Sports Hour. I'm your host, Trevor Hauer, not Ethan Smith, because he's actually off in our state's capital right now. And I decided to take over today. We got Jenna with me here, talking some NFL football. There's some good, there's some bad. There's some, maybe some script leaks, I think. But the season is actually, I don't know how you feel about this, Jenna, but I think the season flew by for me.
I think it flew by.
I remember week one, counting down week one, whatever, and then in the blink of an eye, it's done. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are Super Bowl champions. The second Super Bowl to go into an overtime. San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan, he's a snake-bitten human being. The Chiefs go in and win 25-22 in overtime. What were your thoughts on this year's Super Bowl?
Honestly, at the beginning, it kind of looked like San Francisco had the game. I mean, they started off with one field goal from Jake Moody, and then they got it up to 10, so it was 10-3 at the end of the half, I believe. And then it stayed like that for a while, and then the Chiefs started gaining momentum, and the thing happened that none of us wanted to see. Patrick Mahomes somehow did it.
They call him Hat Trick now because he's got 3 rings. No, I'm done with that Hat Trick Mahomes talk. But the game was pretty boring in my opinion, like especially in the start, 0-0 after 1, and then 10-3 after 2. What is 10 plus 3?
13.
13. What's Taylor
13?
Swift's favorite number? 13. 13.
Seems like a script leak.
Everyone knew that was going to happen. A 13-hour flight from Tokyo to Las Vegas. The 49ers, 4 plus 9 equals what? 13. NFL. I just got to say real quick before we move on to the rest of the playoffs, WWE writes better scripts. Just saying. Like, if The Undertaker wanted to come out and wrestle at halftime, well, we need to talk about Usher too, and how he didn't play one of my all-time favorite hits by Usher. But if he wanted to come out and wrestle, I bet you the WWE could write a solid script for that. But Usher did perform at halftime, and he didn't play DJ Got Us Falling in Love, but yeah, it was pretty cool.
So we open up the set. I don't think anyone really knew what the song he started with was.
No, I didn't know it.
The redeeming qualities were he brought out Her, he brought out Alicia Keys, he brought out Ludacris, Lil Jon. It was really just everyone. We were all waiting for Justin Bieber to show up.
He was up in the sweet muck and chips probably, I think. Or he was up
with
there.
Hailey Bieber.
With Hailey Bieber, mucking some chips up in the suite. Probably next to Taylor Swift and Ice Spice. And whoever else was up there. Some blonde girl I didn't know.
Blake Lively.
Blake Lively. Anyways, 25-22. Chiefs won it. I knew as soon as San Francisco kicked that field goal, I'm like, they're not going to win this game. Yeah. They're going to lose. They had a couple of chances. I believe it was like a 4th and 1, and they ran it out of the shotgun. I'm like, if they stop them, like, it's over. But nobody had a spy on Patrick Mahomes. Like, you know he's going to run there. Yeah. No answers.
I don't remember what the actual number is. I think it was like 36. But out of all of the field goals Jake Moody has kicked for the 49ers this season, he has never missed one. And in the Super Bowl, he finally had his first missed field goal or blocked.
Yep.
Just crazy.
They call him Money, I think. I think that's his nickname. Money Moody.
That's what Michigan used to call him.
Yep. You can't even blame the kicker either. Like, he was pretty much getting all their points. Nobody could really find the end zone until like the end of the game. But what about the pass from Jennings to McCaffrey? Whoever bet on a non-quarterback throwing a touchdown probably won a lot of money. I think that was the best play of the game as far as like tricks go. But they took a 10-0 lead. It was kind of downhill for that since then. But yeah, you weren't fooling anyone with a 10-3 score. 10 plus 3 is 13. The red teams, come on, like this is what are we even looking at? Patrick Mahomes with 3 rings. I've already been seeing the conversation. Should he be up there with Tom Brady as like GOAT?
I don't know. I mean, thinking about it, we went straight from the Patriots dynasty, and it seems like now we are going into a Chiefs dynasty. Yep. I mean, they've had like 4 Super Bowl appearances in the last 5 or 6 years.
AFC Championship appearances, 3 rings in 5 years. I would call that a dynasty, I think.
I would say that.
And the thing is, like, Josh Allen can't stop them. Joe Burrow can't stop them.
Lamar Jackson
completely choked against them. Who is going to be that juggernaut team in the AFC that can catch the Kansas City Chiefs? Because I personally don't think the Steelers your best bet is probably C.J. Stroud, this upcoming Rookie of the Year within the Texans, if they build their team right in the offseason. But the Chiefs, they got to prove, some teams got to prove that they can take down the Chiefs at some point.
You know, I think the funniest thing, too, is that when the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl in, I think, 2019 or something, they were the favorites.
Yep.
All of America was pretty much rooting for them, so they really did live long enough
To become the villain.
Yeah.
Yep. You either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain. Patrick Mahomes,
Is the
whether it's the
villain.
off-the-field stuff, the stuff with his brother, not a lot
And
of
his
people like his
father.
wife, and his father. Yeah, his father gets 3.
3 rings
And Patrick
for
Mahomes gets 3 as
DUIs.
well. Except Pat Mahomes Sr., that's not really something to really brag about. 3 DUIs is pretty tough. But yeah, don't give him his keys ever again behind the wheel. But Patrick Mahomes Sr. for the DUIs and Patrick Mahomes Jr. for the actual rings that, I don't know. I think he can flex, but Travis Kelce winning the Super Bowl after shoving his head coach. What does that teach our youth?
Honestly,
That you can shove your coach and win a championship?
I don't know, honestly, because, like, you know, you see, like, the same kind of behavior from, like, Stephon Diggs. Like, he's passionate.
He's vilified for that,
He's
yeah.
yelling. He is fired up. He wants his team to win and everything. And that's, it's poison to the locker room.
Locker room
like,
cancer,
you shouldn't have
right?
him. He's drama. Like, and then Travis Kelce can go and be screaming at Andy Reid on
He's a
the sideline.
superstar.
But he just wants to win.
It's
So-
laughable. But the Chiefs did win the Super Bowl, so end of the NFL season, we're on to the draft. But they did go in there as underdogs in a lot of those games, including the Super Bowl. They went into Baltimore, beat them 17-10. They went into Buffalo, beat them 27-24. And I mean, those were some pretty good teams that they beat. Now, Patrick Mahomes, before this playoffs even started, he's never been like on the road in a playoff game. He's always hosted.
Yes.
So the fact that he went into Buffalo and Baltimore and then won the Super Bowl as a underdog, technically, because I think the 49ers were the number 1 seed in the NFC, that's pretty impressive. But the AFC, they got to find an answer for these Kansas City Chiefs because it's going to turn into another Tom Brady, Belichick type of thing. I know one thing's for sure. If Gronk shoved Bill Belichick, they'd have a
It
tough
would be
time looking
over.
for him after that, I'll tell you that. But the NFC side of things, I really thought, before I get into the Detroit Lions, my God, that was tragic. But the Green Bay Packers really choked it away against the 49ers, too. It's almost like the Niners went to the Super Bowl as the favorite, but you had to wonder why. They almost lost to Green Bay, and they had to come back down 17 against Detroit. Green Bay gave them a headache, but man, Detroit, I was a Lions fan for 12 hours that day. And I've already had enough. I don't know how Detroit Lion fans out there actually do it. That's tough.
That was what, like their first playoff win in like 32 years
Yeah.
or something? I can't imagine that. I mean, I know Buffalo is very short of a Super Bowl. It's probably been what,
championship rings.
Like, yeah.
Yep.
But, you know,
They've been there. Detroit's never been there. I think this was their first NFC
insane.
title game in like since maybe the 50s or something like that.
Yeah.
So when they were up 24-7, I was on top of the world. I'm like, it's Detroit against Kansas City. We're going to see a great Super Bowl. And then I saw every single fourth down that Michael Badgley could have kicked a field goal there, but Dan Campbell said, nope, I'm going to leave the offense on the field.
does Dan Campbell have something against field goals?
What is going on?
Like-
He got them all the way there, but he's also the reason why they're out
They
of the playoffs.
lost, yeah.
Now, would they have a shot against Kansas City? I think that we'd see a more high-scoring game because I think San Francisco's defense is better than Detroit's, but I think Detroit's offense is better than San Francisco. So I think it would be more of a shootout. You'd probably get a better game overall. But I feel so bad for the Lions. Like, they got so close. Their fans are faithful, though. They think that they're going to go
so
right back to
faithful.
where they were next year, and that's a tough thing to do. But if there were a team in the NFC, I think Detroit's definitely up there. I mean, you got some up-and-coming teams. Tampa Bay, Green Bay, I guess.
I was surprised by how Tampa performed. I mean, Baker Mayfield really is
Was
doing
he
something.
comeback player of the year or – no, he was a candidate for comeback player of the year.
Comeback player of the year was Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco, who got absolutely mollywopped down in Cleveland. 45-14, Houston, they really came on the scene. They were a really bad team last year. I think they had second overall draft pick. They go into there this year with a rookie C.J. Stroud and win a playoff game, and not just win, but crushed them. I think Joe Flacco threw, 2 interceptions that went for a touchdown that game?
I think so.
So that's why I said before, you're looking at guys like Patrick Mahomes, but C.J. Stroud's coming up. Josh Allen wants another shot at this thing. Anthony Richardson, if this dude stays healthy, for God's sakes, look out.
I think we got to talk about the Eagles real quick and how disappointing, but also it was like you could tell it was coming and everything. They lost the wild card round 9-32 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean,
after all that trash talk they did with the Dallas Cowboy fans. Now that was embarrassing too for the Cowboys. But I mean, Eagles, you got to win your game first before you start trash talking other fan bases because I don't know. I think Dallas, they almost gave up 50 points to Green Bay at home, but Philly didn't even crack double digits against Tampa Bay. So whenever you say like, oh, Dallas looks like a postseason fraud, I thought Philly was right up there with them. Like, there wasn't a great team in the NFC East this year.
Now that Jason Kelce is retiring this year, who knows how they're going to look next year, especially if the NFL does something about the tush push and they're not able to do that. Is Jalen Hurts going to be survived?
I think defenses just have to figure out how to stop that. Yeah. But Jalen Hurts might be running for his life, though. With Jason Kelce, who can block like 2 guys at once, he might be running for his life. Bad things might happen. But Dallas, I don't know what they have to do to get better. Every year it's the same thing. It's Groundhog Day for Cowboy fans. This is our year. This is our year. Nope, another wild card exit. I don't know. They have some pretty good receivers. Obviously, they're missing Trayvon Diggs due to injury because he's been injured like almost every season. Their defense could do a little better, but they're running with the same head coach next year, so expect pretty much the same thing out of the Dallas Cowboys.
Are they going to be running with the same owner too? Who knows? Who knows about Jerry Jones? I mean, does he have time left?
I don't think he's a cheap guy. I think if you wanted to fire him, he would have fired him and found somebody else, but happy not to be a Dallas Cowboys fan. Somebody's got to figure out the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm serious.
It could be you.
It could be me. You know what? I can be an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, figure out the Kansas City Chiefs. But Jenna, thanks for coming on despite the outcome nobody really wanted to see in this Super Bowl. But coming up in approximately 2 minutes, we got Michael, the Rangers fan, talking some NHL hockey. When we return, don't go away.
Like, some NHL hockey. I don't know because
Sabres fan. It's been that way for 13 straight seasons. But Michael, how's it going?
It's going good. Going great.
Got a couple live scores for you right here. Your Rangers playing the Calgary Flames right now. Yep. Game is tied 0-0 halfway through the game. But if you look at some of these stats, pretty even, I think, as far as shots are concerned. But I think it's about getting that first goal. Calgary has been they've been making some moves right before the trade deadline. They've been making a lot of trades within their division, which is crazy to see. But in hopes to make their team better, they're 25-2-5. The Rangers, led by former Sabres legend Chris Drury at the GM reins, 33-16-3. How are the Rangers this good with relatively a new general manager? I know he kind of worked his way up in the AHL, but I mean, Chris Drury looks like he's doing a good job here.
Well, we got some good players. I mean, Artemi Panarin has been killing it, our number one goal scorer, assist scorer, anything. Zibanejad's been doing great. Obviously Igor, although Igor has been kind of lacking, but our backup goalie is just as good as Igor, Jonathan Quick.
Yep.
After winning with the Vegas Knights Stanley Cup last season and then playing with the LA Kings and getting
I think he won a ring or two there too.
Yeah.
Yep. Adam Fox, probably the best offensive defenseman in the NHL.
Yeah, Adam Fox. He doesn't score a lot, but he gets in there.
Yeah, he does. He's a shorter guy too, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if short defensemen really pan out to be anything in the NHL. We call those outliers, but I mean, just like you said, Panarin.
Yeah, Lafreniere,
Trouba,
he has been picking up recently.
Wheeler.
Lafreniere's goals.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean, this is a good team. I would kill to have a team like this. Right here in the 716 of Buffalo, New York, but of course we can't have nice things. The Flyers actually just tied up the game against the Arizona Coyotes. This game is at 1-1 with 14:50 to go here in the second period, and the New Jersey Devils have a 3-0 lead on the Seattle Kraken with 10:10 to go in the second period. Looking at the Atlantic Division, is there any really big surprise here as far as the standings go? Boston, I had winning the President's Trophy again this year. I don't know if you had the same thing because they lost a lot of key guys. But I'm like, doesn't matter who's on that team, who's coaching that team, who the assistant coaches are. Boston's always that top team in the Atlantic Division. There's no surprise
they got to
there.
do good, but I think you got to watch out for Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yep.
I think they can definitely move their way up there.
They had a slow start to the year, but they seem to be rallying
Slow
back.
start, but they're picking up.
Detroit kind of coming back a little bit. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. Toronto, 26-6-8. They're kind of right where I expected them to be. Florida, still pretty angry about that Stanley Cup final from last year. They're in second in the division. Look at the bottom three. This is not a lot of people really expected this, especially Sabres fans. I saw it on the radar the whole time. And I don't want to sound very arrogant when I say that, but that's just the truth. Ask anyone in my family, they're a witness as well. Canadians are 6th, Sabres are 7th, Ottawa's 8th.
Sabres on a 2-game losing streak.
2-game losing streak, both at home as well. So a loss to Dallas where they took 48 shots on net, still lost the game, and then losing 3-1 on Sabretooth's birthday to the St. Louis Blues in front of a bunch of little kids. So good job, Sabres. 2-game losing streak, minus 12 goal differential, a 5-5 record in their last 10 games. I saw as soon as Kevin Adams made no moves in the offseason except bringing in 2 defensemen that are I don't know, Connor Clifton's not that old, but Eric Johnson's 36, coming off a Stanley Cup win against Colorado. I knew this team was going to be where they were. 51 games in, they have 22 wins, 25 losses, and 4 overtime losses, 48 points. I said, watch this team mess around and get 75 points this year after they are 1 point short from the playoffs last year. All they needed was 1 overtime to go their way, 1 puck to bounce their way last year. But I think with this team, under this head coach and Don Granato and this GM and Kevin Adams, that was the peak you're going to get with that team. You're going to be 1 point out of the playoffs. I think some serious changes have to be made here with the Sabres.
With Sabres, definitely, yeah. Sabres, they got to rebuild. They got to take some time, figure out maybe.
That's the word we've been hearing a lot over the past 13 years. The rebuild.
The
The never-ending rebuild. We went through Sam Reinhart, Jack Eichel, Ryan O'Reilly, Evander Kane, coach after coach. What was it? Bilesma, then Housley, then Kruger. Now we're running things with Granato, and he's on the back burner now. They might fire him. I've been seeing stuff like bring back Lindy Ruff. If you told me we'd be having this conversation in 2024, in 2014, I'd probably go looking for a new team. But you know what? I've been with these guys for so long, and I'm never going to quit them, but they're making it so hard to get excited to watch these guys play.
Yeah. Well, with rebuilds, at least your rebuild is not as bad as the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yep.
What they are going through right now, they really only have Bedard
San Jose,
for
too.
them, and they lost Bedard right now. He's still out on injury, I believe.
Yep.
So they have actually taken worst team in the league. San Jose Sharks have beat them.
You know
So
where that
now-
puts them, though? The best odds for the kid from Boston, was it Boston College, Boston University? Macklin Celebrini, wherever school Jack Eichel went to, I think he plays there as well. He's projected to go #1 overall this year. Chicago, they might get their Kane and Taves back. They lost them both. They might get Bedard and Macklin, and you might run it back with these guys and maybe have another dynasty here in the future. But, man, if the Sabres could have a guy like Macklin Celebrini on the team, maybe trade away some of your guys that you can't afford to pay anymore, because everyone got an extension last year. Do you remember that? Like, Rasmus Dahlin, they missed the playoffs. He gets an extension. Samuelson, extension. Dylan Cousins gets an extension. But not Casey Middlestat. He's one that I've heard has been on the trade market, or they're shopping Casey Middlestat. I don't know where he would go, and I don't think the GM that's running the show here in Buffalo, I don't trust him making any trades with a high leverage player, your top goal scorer in Casey Middlestat. Where do you think, maybe he can go? Because he's got to go to a contender, right?
I got no clue. I mean,
you look at teams like Dallas, who are #1 contenders.
Yeah,
Vancouver's
Dallas
the best team in the league right now, and who would have thought? They had a rebuild similar to
yeah,
ours.
the Canucks, they really came in and just
They said,
#1 right now.
yep, we see what Vegas is doing. We can do the exact same thing. Edmonton is definitely a contender, winning 8.
Just
they're
ending
8-2,
a 16-game win streak.
led by McDavid
One
and
point
Draisaitl.
off from being tied with the most wins
Yep.
in a row. That was just the Penguins back in
I
the
think
90s.
something like that, yeah. I think the Devils had a long one in 2010, I'm pretty sure. They had maybe 13 or 14 games there. But Edmonton was really stormed on the scene there.
Really close to beating it, but then Vegas Knights had to cut it off for them.
Eichel beating McDavid. How about that? That's unbelievable. I think he's still injured as well. But Winnipeg, who had a very slow start to this year, climbed all the way up to 3rd in the Central Division. And then you have St. Louis and Nashville just on the outside looking in. So when you're talking about potential buyers and sellers at the deadline, it doesn't even have to just include Casey Middlestat, because I think he gets dealt at the deadline personally. But look out for some of these teams out in the East and the West that are going to be contending for a championship. The Rangers might be big buyers.
Yeah.
Carolina should be big buyers. Philadelphia, who was expected to be kind of where the Chicago Blackhawks are right now, they're riding in 3rd in the Metro Division.
Yeah.
And when you mention old Sabres, Chris Drury's in charge of the Rangers, Daniel Briere's in charge of the Flyers, look where they are. Look where they are. And then,
It's like when you leave the Sabres, you're going to better things.
and that's been happening for years. 4 years. Eichel leaves, wins a cup. Zach Bogosian leaves, wins a cup. All these players, they're like, oh, I remember when he used to wear a Sabres uniform. Wins a playoff series or something. Wins the President's Trophy. Linus Allmark wins the President's Trophy. God, it's just a rough time to be a Sabres fan right now. But you got a lot to look forward to. A plus 23 goal differential for the Rangers. 33, 16, and 3. How far do you think they're going to get this year?
I mean, I'm hoping
You never know
that,
what to expect with a team like the Rangers.
I mean, I'm hoping that they go all the way. I think they're doing good. They had a rough month last month.
Yeah.
Where they won, I think it was only like 3 or 4 of their games, but they're back now after the All-Star break. They bring Quick in. He wins a couple games, and now Igor's back after the All-Star games. He had his fun time, him and Trocheck.
Yep.
They won. Team Matthews won, with them on it.
Yep. Oh, I forgot we didn't even get into the All-Star game. What do you think about those jerseys, about those uniforms?
I thought that they were interesting. Some of them were a little brightly colored.
The yellow ones kind of
the yellow ones were a
off
little too
bit.
much.
But it was kind of cool to see, Rasmus Dahlin rocking the threads in the All-Star game. I think the players like being there. I also think, if you don't get selected to an All-Star game, it's almost cool. I get to relax for a little bit. Relax for take a week off and then kind of just come back. But
I think it's really good for a lot of the players who don't get in.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be the East versus the West. That used to be, the most fun thing to watch. Now you got the skills competitions and the fastest skater, hardest shot, and stuff like that.
Yep.
I wasn't really surprised by any of the results. I always thought Connor McDavid was one of the fastest players in the league, so that really wasn't surprising to me. But you mentioned that the Rangers had a rough month, and they had some tough teams that they were facing against at the time. I mean, Washington at one point, they had a tough stretch against the Bruins, lost to the Oilers, who were again on this crazy win streak.
Yes.
I think at one point the Leafs put up 7 or 8 goals on them in December. But what makes the Rangers a good team is that they don't really get thrown off. They don't really get derailed. When they lose, they seem to find their way back. And when it was when the Sabres were losing these games early in the season, I was okay, it's not time to panic, but like 5 games in out of 82, but like you got to find your way back.
Yeah, because the Rangers,
The Sabres
if they're
just aren't that team.
if the Rangers start getting on like a losing streak, they start trying new things. Like they moved Will Cooley, our rookie, up to the starting lineup, and that got us really
Players
good.
get benched.
Yeah.
Like when your top stars aren't performing up to level.
Pitlick got scratched. You got a healthy scratch to bring Othman on.
But then what happens in Buffalo or Saberhood as whatever crap marketing that is, Saberhood. Yeah, almost dead last in the Eastern Conference, but we're loving things in Saberhood. No one misses a shift. Jeff Skinner's out there every time, even though he can't back check. Samuelson's always out there when he's healthy. If Dowling makes a stupid play, he's out there the very next shift. There's just no accountability there. I think that's where you got to start from the top, look at the owners, look at the GMs that they're hiring and see if they're yes men or teams that want to, or they're guys that want to make their team better. I don't think Buffalo has it personally. And it's been the same way for, like I said, 13 years. There are 7th graders that have not been alive to witness a Sabres playoff game. That's sad. But
Who knows? Maybe they never will.
Do you know what the most famous words in the 716 are?
No.
There's always next year. How about that? But Michael, thanks for coming on. I hope the Rangers do well for you this year. Because, whatever.
Going all the way. No quit in New York.
Go all the way. But in approximately 1 minute, we're going to have Lily Hauer on to talk some National Lacrosse League. When we return, don't go away. Two Howers on the screen.
Hour.
What in the world? So we got green
And orange.
and orange, but she's rocking the winning threads.
The Bandits.
The Bandits.
Let me just
'Cause-
move this over. What is it? Dane.
Yeah, read the shirt, Lil. What does the
Dane,
shirt
Josh,
say?
Chase, and Tehoka.
That's a core 4 right there.
That's the core 4.
Core 4 of the Bandits. And of course,
Where would we be?
without our background. So, Lily, why don't you just introduce all the players we have
Okay.
here on the screen?
Well, this is Brad. He's no longer on the
He's
team.
no longer on the
We
team.
miss him so
He's
much.
excommunicated from the church
We have Stainhouse, of course.
from 2003.
Chase Fraser, but you can't.
Yeah, what happened to a sea lion?
Where's the sea lion?
You can't find a sea lion.
Of course, again, we have Marky Mark,
Up close and personal with the folks out there.
Josh Byrne, our captain Steve Priolo, and some more Mark
DJ
Stainhouse.
Stainhouse.
DJ Stainhouse.
Yeah, we're talking about the reigning champion Buffalo Bandits and their push to go back to back, like Travis Kelce and the
the
Kansas City
Chiefs.
Chiefs, right?
Go Taylor's boyfriend.
Shut up. All right. We had the NLL is a little bit weird this year. They kind of switched things around for the standings. There are no more divisions, so every game matters. Every tiebreaker matters. When you look at the standings right now, I believe it's top 8 go to the playoffs.
Yep.
Bandits are sitting pretty right now. They're not where I really expected them to be at this point, but they're climbing their way
got
up
plenty
there.
of season
Yeah,
left.
they got time.
They got time.
They got some easy competition. Pff, what are we worried about?
Yeah, facts.
Albany in first place. The Firewolves are 6-2.
Who we can never beat.
Well, at least no. At home we
At
can't
home
beat
we
them.
can.
We can't beat them at home. But
Or in Albany, when we lost to them game
so
1.
I guess we can't beat them ever. Well, moving on. Toronto Rock. I was in Hamilton, home of Finger 11, to watch the Bandits beat the Toronto Rock. San Diego Seals.
Beat them.
The Bandits beat them, so if they win next week, that tiebreaker is huge. Followed by the Bandits in 4th place, the Halifax Thunderbirds, Georgia Swarm, New York Riptide, and the Panther City Lacrosse Club. I think that's 8. They don't even have the numbers on their website. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think
you
I
gotta
counted
do math.
8. I think I counted it. So if the season ended right now, your Bandits would be facing against the Halifax Thunderbirds in the quarterfinals. 1 game winner takes all. I don't know how I feel about that because
They're pretty close.
Thunderbirds are a pretty good team. And that's who we face against on Friday at 6:30.
Oh, I thought it was Saturday.
I think it's a Friday night game. And so if you're
3-0.
wondering where we're going to be, we're probably going to be at Mr. Sizzle's watching the game on the big screen.
Where Trevor was for a commercial with Dane Smith.
Yeah, so I shot a commercial with Dane Smith at Mr. Sizzle's, and it was like a little 15-second thing, like maybe 2 Thursdays ago. A 15-second commercial. How long does that take to edit?
He still hasn't seen it.
I haven't even seen it yet, but I was shooting with my buddy Dane. We exchanged pleasantries. It was pretty. It was a good time. But that's who we're facing against on Friday, and I believe we face against the Albany Firewolves at home on the 24th. I don't know if that's a Friday or a Saturday, but those are 2 pretty tough games. And then after that, it gets. I don't want to say it just to jinx it, but it gets a lot easier as far as the
Statistically,
standings
it'll get
go.
a lot easier.
As far as the standings go. I know we got Philly after that in March. I know that we have Vancouver in March. I know Fan Appreciation Night at the KeyBank Center is going to be against Calgary. It's going to be against the Eakin Roughnecks, so that's going to be pretty cool to see. We got the Las Vegas Desert Dogs. I think we're going to Vegas for that one.
Yeah, that's the last game of the regular season.
Panther City's on the radar, too. Some easier competition, so I'm honestly okay with getting through some of the tougher teams early so we can build up those wins towards the end.
Right, no, for sure, definitely.
And who are some key players to watch this season for the Bandits? If let's just say you're a Halifax fan, you're uneducated and you root for the Thunderbirds. What players on the Bandits roster are you circling, are you highlighting?
Chase Fraser and Josh Byrne.
Chase Fraser, who's playing on a contract year, you look at the players the Bandits brought back, Josh Byrne and Dane Smith, they're your 1-2 punch. Of course, you have to sign them to 5 years.
Package deal. They would probably not be in the league anymore.
But 95 is scoring 4 goals a night. He should also be extended for 5 years.
Absolutely.
And then on top of that, Chris Kluche. And then Tehoka Nanako's got, 2 years left on his rookie contract? So the GM, Steve Dietrich's got some work to do if he wants to keep this championship window and this hopefully dynasty window open for the Bandits.
And not trade away Brad McCulley, because that was stupid.
Trading away Brad McCulley, the WWE champion and world champion of the world, trading him away for 2 second-round picks had me scratching my head a little bit, and us promoting Emerson Clark. Oh, what do you have to say about Emerson Clark, Lily? Number 7 for the Buffalo Bandits.
He's not my favorite.
He's 5'7".
He's not comparable to Brad McCulley. I saw someone on the Instagram post that Brad McCulley posted out, and he was like, "Thank you, Bandit Land, like it's been great." Someone said, "So sorry to watch you leave. Does this mean Emerson Clark is going to play more?" I'm like, how do you even compare those two?
Christian Watts played against the Rochester Nighthawks his first game. 3 points. He's already better than Emerson Clark.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he has the same amount of points as Clark in 1 game.
He was
and he didn't even score.
Was he the heavyweight player of that game?
He was. Yep. Because, Connor Fields was getting up in his grill, and he's like, "Nope, sit down, son."
I hate Connor Fields.
Connor Fields.
I hate Connor Fields.
He's an East Amherst guy, but
played for Team Canada.
Played for Team Canada.
So he's a fraud.
So
Connor fraud.
He's a fake American.
Like
Connor frauds.
I hate him.
What a joke. And then, Rochester, they got some good players. I think they're just poorly coached. The Bandits' number 1 key going into these next few games, you got to learn how to close out a friggin' game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was at the game, like I said, in Hamilton. We were up 16-10. I'm turning around. I'm telling people behind me to beat the traffic. we were up 16-10 in that game. We won it 16-14. We almost blew a 6-goal lead in 2 minutes.
Like consistent nail biters. Like every game,
Rochester,
I'm sitting there.
We're up 14-9. We win that game 15-14. Guys, what are we doing? You gotta get your closer. If we're talking baseball, like pretend that we're Mike Dibitetto for a second, and we're talking baseball. You gotta get your closer. You gotta close out these games. You can't make the fans lose their mind.
Right.
And kind of go crazy.
Just don't play like the Astros and don't choke.
Yeah, I think other teams should play like the Texas Rangers. I hate the Rangers so much. But yeah, we got Halifax coming up this week. If you're doing some scoreboard watching, New York and Toronto, the Riptide are playing the Toronto Rock. We are huge huge New York fans going into this Friday.
Hate the Toronto Rock.
Las Vegas and Philly, I don't know, 2 bottom-tier teams, it really doesn't matter. Albany and Colorado. Colorado, let it be known on June 3rd, 2023, that the Buffalo Bandits destroyed
the Mammoth.
mollywopped, derailed,
The Loud House.
slaughtered
The Loud House.
the Loud House, and made the Mammoth go extinct again. They are 3-6, giving up 114 goals total. The Bandits killed them.
Yeah, and they killed him again.
They are
This year.
squashed. Oh, yeah. What game was that?
Brad
What did I do at
McCulley's last
halftime in that game?
The wing eating competition.
The wing eating contest.
We need a picture of that up here.
Yeah. Wow. The things you
needs to-
think of while you're in the middle of the...
It needs to replace Brad because he's no longer with us.
Yeah, well, you know what? Travis Kelce, your Lombardi trophy's cute, buddy, but have you seen the size of that trophy I won from the chicken wing eating contest?
It's orange.
Literally
It has a
6 feet
football
tall.
on it.
It's the Lombardi trophy.
And it has a thing that says wing eating competition. So there are
And
buffalo
it has
wings
the
on
date
it.
on it.
And the date on it. And he got a little one.
And I got a little trophy, too.
I carried that one back to the car.
Get on my level.
Get on his level.
Get on my level.
We had to go to account services, and we were just standing there with that big trophy.
Yeah, they really wanted me to take that giant trophy back to my seat. And I said, is there anywhere I could put this? And they said, well, we can leave it at account services.
So
You know how I won it? 9 chicken wings in 2 minutes. And I got a $250 check from Lenovo.
And
so that
I
was
told
pretty
everyone
cool.
in our section, I said, that's my brother. So then everyone was cheering when he came back. Everyone was like, Trevor!
Yeah, that was fun. That was a good time. And then going to Cobblestone, Lily, you need to turn 21 fast, because
got
going to
10 months
Cobblestone
left.
bar after the game and talking to the players is great. You won't be talking to Brad, unfortunately.
We already did that one time, so that was
But
okay.
we need Chase Fraser extended.
Agreed.
If he
Chase
doesn't get
Fraser is my
extended,
goat.
if Chase doesn't get extended yesterday, I'm gonna start throwing things on set. Okay.
And you'd be completely valid to do that.
And I'd be completely
Valid.
And where is his sea lion friend?
Where is the sea lion?
Where's his pet sea lion? God, you know what, Art? He'll be coming on at the end, but you know that Brent actually drew that? He actually drew that picture.
The hyper-realistic painting.
Yeah, he
of
actually
Chase
drew
Fraser.
that. So, Lily, thanks for coming on.
Thank
Her
you,
first time
guys.
on as well. Hopefully we'll talk about some big Bandit wins later on, when the actual host of the show comes back. But, yeah, so in approximately, and how can we not say whose house?
Whose
I just
house?
saw this in the script. Mark, whose house?
Stainhouse. Johnny who?
Tavares.
And of course, Speedy. Pat McCready.
Not Pat McCready 10. Yep, Pat Speedy McCready. Yep, and Kevin Dostie too.
Dosty's
He's fishing too. Yep.
Catfish,
Catfish machine, Kevin
Catfish
Dostie.
machine.
Anyways, in approximately 1 minute, we're gonna have Katie on to talk some Formula One. Don't go away.
Power segment.
Boom. Have Katie on to talk some Formula One racing. Katie, what isn't happening in Formula One right now? It seems like everything's happening right now.
Yeah,
They're all
there's-
just throwing everything at us real quick.
There's so much. So, first thing, Gunther Steiner got let go of Haas, which was kind of a surprise. He was really sad about it. He came out and he was kind of sad about it. And it was kind of a shock. Everybody was like, what are they going to do for the Netflix show? Because he was like the star of it, basically.
I was talking to my dad about this. Is it season 4 or season 5 of that show coming out?
Season 6.
Oh my goodness. So
Yeah.
you were wrong. You said season 5. Well,
So that
I was
comes-
wrong too. I said season 4.
I think that comes out on the 22nd or the 23rd. I don't really know. But, so he got let go. I forgot who's going to replace him, but like their head engineer who was already kind of the team principal anyway. So, but it was all like Gene Haas's decision. Who
We
owns
love
the
a little
Haas team.
controversy though.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always a
And-
little drama going on.
But apparently they're projected to be 10th again. So
It's all for naught, really.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
So we have a couple new names on the grid, and they're not great. They're
Visa,
not good.
Cash
Visa,
App.
Cash App, RB. That replaces AlphaTauri. It's
It just
all
sounds so
sponsors.
boring.
It's all sponsors. It shouldn't be sponsors.
Could we get a sponsor that sounds appealing too? Visa,
Yeah.
Cash App.
And-
That's like every other commercial you see on Fox Sports. One
Yeah.
of those is Visa.
Their like livery and their suits are just covered in sponsors too. And it's like, okay, let's
It's like the
move
European
on.
hockey jerseys. It's so ugly.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, and then another one is Alfa Romeo, who's going to turn into Audi in 2026, but their 2023 was their last year of being Alfa Romeo, but they've always been a Sauber team. But so this year and I think next year they're rebranded to Stake F1 Team Kick Sauber, which doesn't make sense.
No.
Stake is like a betting company, which is not allowed in Switzerland, where they're based. So they might be getting in like legal trouble with Switzerland because they
But
didn't
don't
even
worry.
license it.
You just have to tell the viewers if you have a gambling problem, just call this number and you'll
Yeah.
be figured out. No problem.
So Stake F1,
Oh,
I don't know, they're going to be called Sauber by like the announcers. And Visa Cash App RB is going to be possibly called like V-Carb.
Oh god.
That's so bad.
Most
It's so
unappealing
bad.
sounding names. Like, come on, guys. We can do a little bit better than that.
Like, I don't know. It's so ugly. But
All this just to have Max Verstappen
Yeah.
win every
Yeah.
single Grand Prix again. Like, this
Yeah.
is just so extra. They're doing too much a little bit.
And then, well, talking about new teams, so Andretti put in a bid to become a new team in Formula One. So that would be 11 teams. But they got denied because apparently they would benefit more from Formula One than Formula One would benefit from Andretti, which isn't really true because Andretti's a huge, like, United States
Yep.
company.
Yep.
And they want to expand into the United States. So I don't understand their thought process on that. And like Andretti has a lot of money if that's the issue.
Yeah.
Because
He could afford a
again, they're
team.
huge. They have an IndyCar team. Like they have a
Yep.
bunch of teams.
I think they had a couple. I think they experimented in NASCAR with the Andretti, but nothing really went with the stock car racing.
Yeah.
But
And they're successful in IndyCar. So
yeah,
I
which
don't know
is
what
the
they're
Americanized version of Formula One.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. I don't know what they're thinking because it doesn't make sense. So,
And they said no to his bid, vetoed.
yeah. Sad.
Couldn't do it.
But so more liveries are being unveiled by the day. Aston Martin came out with theirs today. They're kind of ugly because they're just carbon fiber because they're cutting down on weight for
It's for the
Because of paint?
aerodynamics or whatever.
yeah.
The
because it
packages are
doesn't-
running.
But like, come on, make your car fun. That's half of the fun
Yeah.
of watching it. Like
At least
to
paint it out and trick it out,
yeah,
make it look
to
good.
see like Red Bull's always the same.
Yep.
Ferrari's always the same. But
Same color
you
scheme.
know it's a Ferrari because it's a bright red car driving down the track.
Yep.
And you knew it was an Alpine when they were pink because it was a bright pink car driving down
Yeah,
the
no
track.
one else is driving those.
But like now they're all basically like black and then like a little bit of color, which
Are
is
they
not
trying
fun.
to like emphasize look at the driver more than the car type of deal? I don't even know what the ideology behind that even is.
I don't know. Maybe if I'm on next week, we'll take a look at some of the cars.
Yeah. Oh,
But-
you and Ethan got to start ripping, like just rank these cars, how they look,
Yeah.
1 to 10 rating. I think I did that with Fuller a couple times on the show.
We
so-
can rank them.
Yeah, you have to do that.
Because half of them haven't come out yet, but
But they all look the same. They're all going to be like a 6.5 out of 10.
two out of the 4 are Ferrari and Red Bull. So we already know what those are going to look like.
There you
but
go. Yep.
It's fine. But-
Spoilers alert. Spoiler alert for next week.
Yeah.
By the way.
But then, speaking of Ferrari, Charles Leclerc, he got his contract extension. They didn't say for how long. His contract was running out in 2024.
He's getting paid though.
Not surprised that they both extended. He wants to win a championship with Ferrari, and maybe it'll come someday. But I think Max Verstappen will have to stop winning.
Someone's got to
before
dethrone
that.
Max Verstappen. Oh my God, he is just too good for the sport.
Well, So Red Bull, speaking of Red Bull, so Christian Horner has allegations against him from a female coworker. So he might be potentially leaving Red Bull. I think he has like, I don't know, like a hearing at
Somebody
Red Bull.
might be filling in his spot. Like,
He might have a hearing at Red Bull, and
yikes.
I've heard apparently that means that Adrian Newey might leave Red Bull, who is like, he's what makes Red Bull so good. Like
They're gonna
he
lose
does
their
the
cash cow.
aerodynamics. He does the
Yep.
aerodynamics of Red Bull, and without him, what are they gonna do?
They're gonna plummet in the
They're
standings.
gonna let Charles win a championship. Hopefully.
We'll see. We can only speculate. We can only see. But man,
I'm kind of hoping it happened. Not hoping that he did that, but
Oh,
hoping
no.
that he leaves his position.
yeah, yeah.
But you never know, because he has been there since 2005.
So he's been loyal to the soil for
Yeah.
almost two
So,
decades.
I don't know what's happening with these team principals, because Günther Steiner was there since the beginning of Haas.
Yeah.
And Christian Horner has been there since the beginning of Red Bull. So I don't know what's happening, because Alpine also ended up replacing Otmar Snap. I don't know how to say his last name. I don't know. But they ended up replacing him. So they have, like, in Alpine, they have a bunch of new people. So
Up and comers.
yeah, so we'll have to see how they come along too. Their car is
It
one
might
of the
be an end of an
underdogs.
era though with Red Bull here. You never really know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been 2 years of full domination, and then like he did win 2021.
Yeah.
But that was pretty neck and neck with Lewis Hamilton. And speaking of Lewis Hamilton,
2025.
so on like February 1st, I woke up and I was like, oh, let me go on Instagram. And I see, oh, Lewis Hamilton
bomb
might be
go
moving
off.
to Ferrari in 2025. What?
Yeah, if we're looking at this like in NASCAR terms, it's like Jimmy Johnson going to Joe Gibbs.
It's like Zayn leaving One Direction.
It's like Ashley leaving O-Town. Okay?
Like, so he's leaving Mercedes after 11 years of being with the team. And that's the longest like driver team pairing in history, other than like Michael Schumacher, I think was for 10 years.
Well, Hamilton's
with
got an
Ferrari.
opportunity here though. He can win a title with Ferrari.
Yeah.
They're a pretty stacked team.
Because Ferrari hasn't won a title since Kimi Räikkönen in 2007.
Did they mention how much he's getting paid in 2025?
So apparently
They had to have broken the bank for him.
so
Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah. So he might be getting paid $100 million to drive for Ferrari.
Ferrari, if you're looking for another driver, I'm also available. Too.
I could drive a Formula One car for that much.
$100 million. I could just have like Lewis. I could have Hamilton, like just give me a couple pointers. I can come in 11th or something and be like, okay, I got my money. Like I'm all good. So, wow.
We'll have to see how everything with that works.
Bombs were dropped on this segment for Formula One. Ethan will be here next time to rank the cars. Jealous. That was such a fun segment that we did at that one point. But Katie, thanks for coming on. And in approximately 2 minutes, we're going to have B. Rent here to talk some basketball when we return.
Whoop, whoop.
Well, so we'll talk about this after.
Yeah, we'll
But
get to this in a minute.
Trev and Brent are
We're back.
with the last segment of the episode. Back just like old times. I feel like a junior in college again. Don't you?
Would you want to? Well, I mean, I am still in college.
Well, if I was a junior in college, I'd still be living on Lambert Avenue.
right
And
next to
and
Dr. Daly.
and
But I
that-
can't call him doctor.
Oh, you can't call him doctor, especially on cable too.
Yeah, can't do it
We're
on
on
cable.
now. This is my first time on cable, so that's
yeah, it's
welcome
your
to cable.
first time.
Welcome to cable, Big Trev.
Because the last time you were on Sports Hour last
I
semester,
wasn't
you
the
weren't
host.
the host.
I was not the host.
And
so
now you are.
First time hosting on cable. I've been on cable another time. But
Yeah, one other time you were, yeah.
we're here to talk about
Some
NBA,
sexiness.
The NBA. This is the previously mentioned trophy from the chicken wing eating contest. For all we know, this could be the most cursed image ever, and the Bandits might not ever win a game after this. But I'm just so like stretched out in this picture. But yeah, that's the trophy. That's the trophy right
No,
there.
the Bandits cannot be cursed from this. You're wearing a Stainhouse jersey.
And the 6 foot tall
And
Ophi. But
See, Jake was complaining in the comments because he said that you're not a real Bandits fan just because you won a chicken wing contest. Doesn't mean anything.
well,
that's your
did,
own-
he,
that's
did,
your
he,
own brother.
did he also mention that I bought season tickets to
And
the
he
Bandits?
didn't?
And he didn't?
Unreal. I don't know what you think about that, Jake. I'm not in the live comments, but you can comment.
Absolutely ridiculous. But we're here to talk about some NBA, obviously, if you couldn't tell by the background here.
Yeah, clearly.
Boston Celtics are going on a tear.
Yep. Boston sports in general, just always good besides the Pats. But,
Always good, besides the Pats. Red Sox hit a little rough patch last year, but they're projected to be good this year. Boston Celtics, Cleveland Cavaliers, Milwaukee Bucks, top 3 in the East. No really surprise to this at all. When you look at a team like Boston, 25-3 at home, season ticket holders are getting everything they want and then some. To have
Yep.
25-3 record at home, 28-6 in the conference, it doesn't get much better than that. And Tatum might win his first NBA title
He might.
if they keep up this pace
but
here.
on the West, the top 3 teams are
I
strong.
didn't expect this at all, though.
They're strong. The Clippers made their way. If this Clippers team was a team, like if this was 2017 and this was the Clippers team, I don't think they'd lose a game all year.
No.
You got Kawhi Leonard at point guard. You have PG-13. You have James Harden.
Yep.
You have who else? Who was the other big one? Let's just toss Westbrook in there.
Why Russell
not?
Westbrook,
Why not?
PJ Tucker,
Tucker.
Jordan
like,
Miller.
They're figuring it out. They're starting to figure it out. OKC, youngest team in NBA, sitting 3rd in the West.
Yeah, look at that. Running with the youth movement, and it's working.
And it's working. You know where it's not working?
Maybe a city located in Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
That plays in that arena there. That
I'd
wears
say,
light blue.
Who did we say we're comparing them to?
Comparing the Sabres? Yeah, we thought this would be a fun segment to do. Can we compare the Buffalo Sabres in NBA terms? Who are the Sabres? I said the Washington Wizards, who are
At first
9.
we said the Pistons until we looked at the Pistons record and what they're doing. The Sabres are doing a little better than
Okay,
that.
yeah, the Sabres didn't go on a 22-game losing streak in December or
And they're
whatever
not
that was.
5-25 at home. I mean, that's...
Well, give it time.
Give it time.
There's
Give
always
it time.
next year for that too.
Because, now we might be starting to tank for Celebrini. So,
Yeah, so are
which-
the Pistons, obviously.
yeah, the Pistons want Celebrini too.
8-44.
He does work out with Draymond Green in the offseason because his dad's a doctor for the Warriors.
But don't call him doctor.
Don't call him that.
Call me either Mister. I'm not your pal.
Not your buddy.
I'm not your buddy.
Not your friend.
Oh man. Anyways, whatever that was. Washington Wizards. That was who I kind of landed on. Compare them to the Wizards. 9-43 when they were projected to be like middle of the road, and 6-31 in their conference. 2-8 in their last 10. That's the Sabres to a T right there.
Because we lost to a backup goalie. Because why not?
Who hasn't played since Christmas time?
Yeah. And he didn't go to All-Star. We had one player go to All-Star.
Yeah.
We still lost.
Yep, we still lost. Playing for Justin Bieber.
Oh my God.
Now, if you look out west, who do you compare the Sabres to in this one? I compare them to the Memphis Grizzlies, 18-35.
That's a good
that
one.
are on a 4-game losing
Trailblazers,
streak and are
Trailblazers.
3-7 in their last 10.
The Grizzlies are on an 8-game losing streak.
Wow. Okay, so when you talk about the major 4 sports, I'm actually getting so frustrated with this. The Phoenix Suns were a laughing stock for how long? They're in 5th. They're in a playoff spot.
Yeah, because they got Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant.
And Devin Booker.
Devin. But they still got 0 titles, kind of like a team we know and love.
Yep.
The Sacramento Kings, who have been a joke for over a decade, are in a playoff spot right now, and they're 8 games above 500. The Minnesota Timberwolves are the #1 team in the West.
Yep.
They were horrible for years. They brought it together.
They did.
They went with the youth movement, and it worked. They have competent coaches.
Why is it this league that's going for a youth movement for like a lot of teams, and it works? I don't understand. You have guys in the league that are old veterans, like LeBron James. Kevin Durant,
Still playing.
Russell Westbrook.
Still playing.
James Harden.
Still playing.
Kawhi Leonard. Paul George.
They're getting thrown around the league like a freaking Barbie doll, playing for a bunch of different teams.
Not even to mention, who plays with LeBron? AD. And these guys, where are the Lakers?
He's the dry side of the McDavid, isn't he?
He's
the dry side of the McDavid.
9th in the West.
They're 9th in the West.
Though the young
guys.
Well,
they're just behind the Dallas Mavericks. They're kind of on the outside looking in.
The Warriors are making a comeback though. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Steph's out of his prime."
7-3 in their last 10, 4-game win streak. They're in 10th, but they're just on the outside looking in. They're 3.5 games back, or only 4.5 games back.
Yeah, 4.5 back. Just hit 500 off of a crazy. Actually, that was a crazy game. I've only been watching NBA because I bet on NBA now. Mostly just because of the All-Star weekend for hockey. There was no hockey going on, so I dove into the NBA a little bit. Steph Curry. Who was that? Who was that even against? I forgot who it was against. Let's take a look. It was the 1-13. I think it was the Suns. Yeah, last game against the Suns. Steph Curry drains a 3 with 0.7 on the clock.
To win the game?
To win the game. To go up 113, 112, 0.7 left at that point. The Suns had to do a quick pass, launch down the court. You're never making that.
He's coming off a dynasty team. He's still got the clutch factor.
He does. It's never going away. This dude could be 60 and he's still going to hit threes. It doesn't matter. He's the best shooter of all time.
Yeah, this dude could be on the Lambert playground set talking about "Don't call me doctor" and "Why are you showing up late to my class every day?" But he's still got that clutch gene.
He does.
And he's got the ice in the veins. But mucking chicken wings.
Mucking chicken wings.
Mucking wings that night.
I did say that to Jake. You're not a Bandits fan because you just are off to the side mucking on wings. That's why you're not a band. That's why you're not a true band.
In front of 17,000 screaming Bandit fans. So I think that makes me the ultimate Bandit fan.
Yeah, because he won. If he didn't win, then
I wouldn't show my face around here ever again if I lost.
Then you would really have to only wear the Scream mask.
Yeah. Well, that and I have to wear a mask like Dr. Min.
We were supposed to be talking NBA, but now that we've been talking Bandits a little bit,
we went to
a game
against the Riptide,
and
didn't we?
You know what happened?
We lost.
We lost to the Riptide.
We made a promise on this show. We don't have anything at our disposal here.
We don't have any water.
We don't have any Riptide in the room with us. But remember our promise to you, like around this time last year, if we lost to the New York Riptide, what would we do?
We were gonna drown ourselves
in a Riptide. And we lost that game. No, we were down 10-3.
Matt Vince could not make a save to save his life.
Dude.
I don't know what was going on, but I'm pretty sure you kept that mask on like all game. How scary it was.
I was in the bathroom, and I came back, and we were down 5 all of a sudden. And I said, what the hell happened? What's going on? And then the guy next to us said, Matt Vince can't stop a beach ball.
Yep.
And I said, that's a good analysis.
But then we fell in the backup, and he lets in 1 goal, and we put Matt Vince right back in.
Yep.
Why not?
Oh, you mean the backup that we traded a top prospect for?
Yep. That guy.
Yep. 2 goals on 4 shots.
Awesome.
Cool. Sweet.
Love that.
Really making the push to the championship easy, boys. Awesome.
You know what's crazy that I saw today? We're 3rd, but we're 2nd for most goals for.
Yeah.
How are we 3rd?
You want to know why?
You know why? Because we lost to the
Riptide, and we lost to the Georgia Swarm.
Yeah.
And who else did we lose to? Albany.
Oh, yeah. Can't forget about the first game of the season.
Yeah.
2 years in a row.
Yeah, we almost gave up 20 to friggin' Albany. We almost gave up 20 goals.
Gave up 20.
Can you believe that?
That's insane.
This is absolutely crazy. This background still is elite, though.
No, but we're not ending this segment with this background, because it's me and Trev. Who knows when Trev will be back?
Not that one either.
Not that one.
That one's cursed.
Am I going? There it is.
There it is. So, there it is. Now we need to add
a couple different things. I know you and Lily went through it already.
Yeah, we went through it. She actually went through it, and she knows everybody's name
but
on the team.
But she didn't say Chuck E. Cheese. Or that he got a stick from the attic.
Taylor Swift would be like, Which one's Trav? Which one's Trav? Lily knows all the names on the team. She also knows what a goal is. Taylor Swift has no freaking clue what a touchdown is.
And Lily knows that I drew this.
And what now she does. Go, but turn us back on.
Come
We'll
on.
wrap up.
Come
Turn
on.
us back.
All right.
Okay, so we're
So
back.
we'll do a
For
proper send-off.
send-off.
Because
By the
apparently
way,
the people here don't know about me and Trevor's
antics.
Antics.
And Brock was not a camera operator, but we're gonna end it on this note. Go Sabres.
Well,
Go Bandits.
go Bandits.
No Bandit.
No Bandit.
And stop being late to my class. Yeah? Well, I
And-
won't see you, but Ethan will see you same time, same place next week at Hendricks Hall, right across from the haunted building that's Igo Hall.
On a different day this semester.
Yeah, it's a Monday.
Monday nights.
So now you guys can tune into Monday Night Raw after Sports Hour. Because Monday Night Football is over, so you can turn into wrestling and watch the Monday Night Raw. And I actually watched him draw this, too.
Yeah, I
so
did.
bye.
So,
Bye, guys.
enjoy it.
So long.